Make them on TikTok. One, two. Just tell them to go over to YouTube. Okay. All right, we are live. We are live. Okay, so good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live here. Welcome. This is The Lab with Patrice. And today we have the beautiful attorney Joy Hunt on. And we are going to be talking to you all today about LLCs, but also about contracts, right? So let's introduce attorney Joy Hunt. Ms. Hunt, how are you this afternoon?
I am awesome. How are you?
I am great. So let's get, maybe a little information from you, who you are, your background, and then we'll kind of just get right into it. I'll start kind of doing the questions for you.
Okay. So my name is Joy Hunt. I am a business attorney and a serial entrepreneur. I have been practicing law since 2004. I have been an entrepreneur since about 2005. And I'm your business bestie. So, the good, the bad, the ugly when it comes to business, been there, done that all twice. And I'm really into trying to help entrepreneurs start and grow their business the legit and the correct way.
Exactly. And that's why I mess with Joy. Because we have very similar longevity in the entrepreneurship field. So YouTubers, we are on. So if you guys are new here to the page and channel, my name is Patrice L. Stewart. I am a tax and business strategist as well as a business coach. I started my company in 2009, and we also are very big with empowering business owners and entrepreneurs on tax laws, business strategy, and offering coaching and consulting. So today here, like I said, we do lunch and learn. So this particular lunch and learn that we do is part of this lab that we have. So the lab is our monthly coaching membership community for entrepreneurs or startup business owners or people who are looking to really make a change in their life, right? So that's what the lab is. Every Wednesday we host a lunch and learn with a professional in their field. And so this day we have Joy Hunt on, and we're going to go ahead and get right into the kind of questions now. So Joy, let's start with the LLC portion first, right?
Okay.
And then kind of go into the contract.
Okay.
But when someone is interested in starting a business, right? What I guess we would say, like, what would be some of the things or the reasons why they should hire you or why they should work with an attorney or professional like yourself when they're getting ready to set up their businesses?
Okay, so I think the importance of forming your LLC with some kind of professional is going to be, so it's done right. You want to make sure that all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed. This is basically going to be your legal structure. So you want everything to be done correctly. You want to make sure that all your information is correct. You want to understand, what it is that you have. So yes, you can freestyle it, but I think, getting your LLC formed with a professional, an attorney, a CPA, someone, this is what they do, is very important so that your foundation, is on point. If your foundation is shaky, if you don't have something right, you got to, now amend it. You just want to make sure that your foundation is solid.
Right. And we see this all the time online, right? People making these posts and randomly posting, just do this,
right,
and do that, right?
Right.
But the reason why we speak and say this when working in your business. Business is serious, and you do want to make sure that things are set up properly, because a lot of people just go and set up an LLC, but there's other factors that go along with that business structure outside of just the paperwork of going to your Secretary of State. And that's
correct.
You guys, that we're trying to really address here is, yes, the paperwork part can be set up. Yes, you could go to your Secretary of State and do it, but there are certain structures when it comes to setting up companies outside of LLCs, whether it's a corporation, a non-for-profit. There are certain structures and ways that the business should be kind of set up. And each individual business is different, you guys. So we say this all the time, like, there is no one size fit all when it comes to business. Joy's business is set up, business goals and things are totally different from mine, right? So all of that plays a role when you are looking to put your business on paper, right? We'll say. So outside of just the, kind of the normal ways that everybody does it, right? Which is just, oh, let me set up this LLC on paper. Like, what else, Joy, would be something that they should consider before formally setting up their LLC or wanting to work with you? What are some of the things that I guess I don't want to just say only a business, because I'm sure you work with other people that's not only entrepreneurs. The question just went completely out of my head.
you were saying like, what else do they need to consider before forming their LLC?
Right. So what's something else that they would kind of want to consider? Like, we talked about the different entities, right? So now let's maybe go into the contracts or things like.
Okay.
So once you affect the business.
Okay. Well, first of all, when you're forming your LLC, you want to make sure that whoever is going to be on the paperwork, that, like this is really going to be your partner. I get a lot of, let me put my daughter on, let me put my cousin on the paperwork, and then a blowout happens, and then, now we're trying to, amend things, all that. So it's kind of like, get your house in order, know who you really want to be, a part of your structure. Okay. So forming your LLC is going to be like the first part of starting your business. Okay. So now you got your legal structure together. Now we got to protect you and the legal structure. And you protect yourself and the legal structure, one, by following the formalities, the rules of having, an entity. So the corporation rules, the LLC rules, but you also need to have contracts in place to make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, because something is going to happen. And out here in these business streets, is grimy. Okay. So one contract that no matter what industry you're in, everyone needs to have is going to be an NDA, or a non-disclosure agreement, or also known as a confidentiality agreement. In the midst of your business, you are going to be meeting with other people, whether you're going to be talking to potential investors, whether you're going to be talking to other business owners. Maybe we're going to do a joint venture and like collab on something. Maybe you have staff, employees, people who work with you. You don't want your business secrets. You don't want how you run your business. You don't want where you're buying your merchandise, who your clients are. You don't want all your stuff just to be exposed. And so an NDA says, hey, we in discussing, maybe we're going to partner together. While you're working here for my company, you may stumble upon some information that I don't want disclosed to outside people. So a non-disclosure agreement, every business owner needs to have to make sure that, you're saying, hey, this information does not need to leave, either our workplace. This information does not need to leave us. If you're talking with a potential investor, giving them your business idea, and they have more money than you, they will just take your idea and run with it. So before you get out here in these business streets, you want to make sure that you're protected. When you have a contract, and you don't want to Google a contract, because contracts are state specific. So there's certain things that need to be in, there's certain language that needs to be in a contract. And there's certain like legal mumbo jumbo that needs to be in there to make sure that you're protected. So you want to have an attorney drafted contract as you are entering into discussions, partnerships, whatever, with other people. And then when you have someone sign a contract, it just kind of makes you look like, oh, she's on her stuff. So let me not cross her, and let me not play with her because she does have this this contract on file. So you kind of want to let people know, like, hey, I'm serious. I know my rights, and if you play with me, I'm going to see you in court.
Yes.
So an NDA, non-disclosure, confidentiality agreement, whatever you want to call it, you need to have one of those. If you are in business, you don't have one, you can go to my website, the firm, cbgroup.com, and you can get one of those contract templates. Okay. The second contract that every owner needs to have is going to be a copyright transfer agreement. So copyright is basically when someone creates something. So you may have someone create your logo. You may have someone create a video for your business. You may have someone take some pictures, for your business. You may have someone create copyright content. So they're either writing an ebook, writing Instagram or social media content for you to post. Whoever creates the content owns the content. So you got to think about content and copyright like selling a home. You can't sell a home, and shake someone's hand. Everything has to be in writing. So, hey, I'm selling you the house, for this amount of money, whatever are the issues with the house, we're signing off on it. We're agreeing to the value. We're agreeing to the price, we're the title company is there, we're getting a deal. Like everything is in writing.
Right.
Same with copyright. Okay. So just because you pay someone to take your photos, at your photo shoot, it's because you paid a videographer to come and, do some videos to kind of showcase your business, your work. That does not mean that you own them because you did not create it. If you have a person who's at your business who's coming up with copyright, coming up with writing, different things, some social media posts, some blog posts, the ebook, although you're paying that person hourly or per project, whoever creates it owns it. And the only way you can transfer that ownership over is like a house in writing. So the copyright transfer agreement on my website, every person needs to have. So when you're going to a photo shoot, hey, you just give it to your photographer, hey, here's a copyright transfer agreement. You don't have to be slick. You might have to kind of like slide it, like just be grown. Like, hey, here's a copyright transfer agreement. Please read over it. This is saying that, although I'm paying you, I now own the rights to whatever it is that you are making for me. If a person is a good business person, like if I'm making your logo, I shouldn't want to hold any rights to your logo. I should be willing to, give that over to you. I'm going to charge you more for signing this contract. Well, now your business practice is all the way off. Okay. So a copyright transfer agreement, every business owner needs to have. If you are working with anyone, so an independent contractor agreement, letting them know that, hey, although you're working with me, you are an independent contractor. So one, you are responsible for your own taxes. Right. You don't want, to be working with someone and you're just writing them a check. And then, at the end of the year, when they find out, no taxes were withheld, you don't want them coming back to you acting like, oh, well, I thought I was an employee and,
right.
You didn't pay my taxes, and they, that they quick to call the IRS. Now you got the alphabet boys in your business. You want them to have a contract saying like, hey, we're on the same page. We work together. So, but you are not my employee. So if you're hiring someone to do anything for your business that is not like an employee relationship, they need to be signing an independent contractor. In that independent contractor agreement, you can also put different clauses in there, like a non-solicitation clause. So that means you can't come over here to my business and try to talk to my clients or my employees. So let's just say, let me give a good example off the dome of my head. If I hire a photographer to come on set and, take pictures, let's say I have an online boutique. They're going to come on, do a photo shoot. It's going to be maybe me and 3 models. We're, taking pictures of the clothing that we have on us. He can't talk to the models and try to have them come now with him to go work somewhere else. So if you're coming to work for me or coming to work with me, however you want to say it, then let's just keep everything professional. Don't contact my staff. Don't contact anyone that's working with me. Don't contact any of my customers. Like, you just come in, do your job, and leave. In the independent contractor agreement, sometimes you may have someone working in your business that's not an employee. Okay, so maybe they're coming in maybe a couple of days a week. Maybe they have access to your database, your customer files, whatever the case may be. You don't want them, copying that. And so let's say I come to you, Patrice. I'm gonna be maybe for 2 days a week, helping you be an assistant, call some of your clients. And I'm like, oh my God, this money Patrice got coming up in here. So she does taxes and bookkeeping. I think I can do the same thing. So it'd be a lot easier for me to start my business if I just take her whole database and just say, hey, I knew you was going to Patrice, but guess what? I can do the same thing and I'm gonna do it cheaper. And then I try to start my business off your back. So you want a non-compete clause in your contract with the independent contractor. Like, you want to go ahead and start your business, great, go for it. But you got to start from the bottom like everyone else. You can't start, already with my database because, that's the most important part of a business. So a non-disclosure copyright transfer agreement and an independent contractor agreement, I would say would be the top 3 agreements that every business owner needs to have.
Okay. So we do have a couple of questions. So I'm going to ask. Oh, so they want to know, what's your website again? I'm going to type it in. Give me your.
Okay. My website is the Firm CB Group. So the Firm, C as in cat, B as in boy, group.com.
Okay. I'm typing that in for you all right now. And then we have a question that says, how do you ask someone to sign a contract?
Okay. So you ask someone how to sign a contract. Hi, how you doing? So you are designing my logo. Thank you so much. Just to make sure that we're on the same page, I want you to sign this copyright transfer agreement. All it's saying is that you're transferring your ownership into the logo that you created into me. It's something simple and very customary in this industry. Now, in my contracts on my website, I will give you the contract template, but I will also give you a contract, an explanation contract. So every paragraph I have in green what it's saying. So when you are discussing it with someone, you actually know what it's saying. If it's like some legal mumble jumble that's protecting you, like don't change this. Leave this just like it is, but this is blah, 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 blah. If a person has an issue signing a contract, that needs to be your first red flag as to this person doesn't understand business. This person's not going to be on the up and up with business, okay? Because in any kind of business sphere, you're signing a contract. When you go to the dentist, you have to sign your life away. Hey, something may happen. I may kill you. You still want to get these veneers? I sure do. Bam. You got to have liposuction. Hey, you may die on the table. You good? I'm good. And in anything you do, you are signing your life away. You go to Disneyland, you have to sign a waiver. If I fall off this ride, in any kind of business transaction, you are signing a contract so that we're both on the same page.
Right. And a lot of people do not really realize that. Like you said, even going to the doctor's appointment, they have on that paperwork, that check-in, and in that fine print that a lot of you are not reading is saying stuff like that.
Correct.
And it's protecting the business. And I'm so glad that you stated that, because this is another reason why we get on here. TikTok, just want to let you all know, we are streaming. So I'm not answering any questions on TikTok. You can go over to the YouTube channel, which is Patrice L. Stewart, and then you can get your questions answered that way. So if you come on over to the YouTube channel, then you can get your questions answered and we can see them live right now. I'm allowing you guys on here for a little while, but then we're going to cut you off. So, because this is actually for the lab members. Like I said, I share some of this content with you guys, but this is really for the lab membership. So back to it. But I wanted one thing that you brought up that I really want to hone in on that people should be listening to. And I'm gonna just get this quick story time real quick. So I started a business when I first left corporate America. I ended up getting a small office. And I met this guy. I didn't know him really, right? But I was like, oh, okay, he's cool. We kind of do the same thing. So we ended up opening up the tax office together, right? And then I learned over that 2 years of being in that office with him, like his work ethic was nothing like mine, how he thought, how he did business, everything. Like we were not a good fit, right? And so I was trying to be like cool and like, okay, well, I'll wait to leave this tax season. You know, I'll let him know I'm gonna leave this last tax season and we're gonna separate. So every year I take a vacation at the end of the year. Left and
never came back.
Left my computer and did not change my password because we both knew each other's kind of, password on the computer, right? The man downloaded my database with all of my tax clients because we had separate clients. He had his own clients. I had my own clients. And downloaded my database. And literally to this day, some of my clients say they still get a text message from him. So what he did was he started texting my clients saying, come to me. I'm cheaper. Like you said, I'm cheaper than Patrice. Like so unethical, right? I was so heated. Like I was ready to go and do the hood way.
Right. What's
I'm
up?
like, dude, like, cousins up there, all type of stuff, right? And so I had to say, okay, Patrice, you are a professional. We have to take this as a learning experience, right? And so, like you said, now moving forward with any projects or people that I decide to work with, I have to have these contracts in place, right. And I'm very shielded now and guarded my information. That's why it's taking me so long to hire people because I don't trust.
Right. Because like everyone doesn't do business. Everyone doesn't understand the value of business. Like, let me have a good rapport with you, and we can do. I would rather make a little bit of money for a long time with someone, but most people they want to have 100%. I want to take it all, and it's like it's. You're going to see out here, like everyone doesn't understand business. So the contracts are really to be put in place to put boundaries. Sometimes you may get into, a partnership, a collab with someone, and you realize we just aren't a fit. Like it's no shade to you, no shade to me. Like we just kind of move differently. So it's also very important that in your contract, you have, a termination clause, like how can we get out of this? Like how you can divorce someone when you're like, I thought it was going somewhere, but we're not. Like, how do I get out of bed with you? Because everyone's work ethic isn't the same. Everyone's vision isn't the same, and you don't want to get in bed with someone and then you feel like you're stuck with them. So contracts just kind of just keep everything on the up and up, so that we're all on the same page. Like no one feels like, well, they getting you just want to kind of just have a good working relationship with everyone you're with, and then also have boundaries and expectations. So hey, let's not do this and let's not do that. But it is very grimy out here, and once you get like one good dog bite in, you'd be like, now I see why. Okay, now I see. Okay, now I see why. Okay.
Yep. Okay, I can see this other question. We do have another question.
Okay.
We'll see if you want to answer this. So the young lady says, I would like to start a t-shirt business alone, and I'm not sure how it will go. Would you recommend getting an LLC now or seeing how things go first?
So the question is, do I start the business and then get the LLC, or should I get the LLC now? Right. I always say get the LLC now because one, you want to at least reserve your business name with your state. So there's no need to, if you're going to start a business, and when I say start, I mean like you're about to go get a logo, you're about to go get a website, you're about to go invest in some inventory. You know, if you're about to actually start the business, then you need to have an LLC, because anytime you're doing any kind of transactions, you're now, you know, exposing yourself to, you know, to other liabilities. Now, if you're just thinking about getting a business, you want to research, you're not sure what industry you want to be in, that's different. But once you start saying, hey, I want to go ahead and, you know, sell something to the public, you know, you really want to go ahead and separate what the business is doing versus you. Also, if you're doing any kind of international business, so I don't know if you're going to get your t-shirts made here in the US, or if we're going to go on like a Alibaba, AliExpress, kind of, you know, bring them from China in here because they'd be a little cheaper. You know, dealing with foreigners with a branded email versus a Gmail account or a Yahoo or your personal email, you will get better rates, you'll get better quotes, because they're going to, you know, look at you as a real business versus, you know, just thinking that they're dealing with like a little fly-by-night individual.
Okay, that's a great. And you did say that the last time we did do one, because I know I used to tell people, like, if you kind of doing a hobby or you hustling on the side, right? But like you said, once you're actually investing money in, you're paying for a logo, you're paying
right.
for a website, you're paying for inventory, then baby, you are a business and you should be set up as one. So,
right. I have a question on this side. It says, when you form your LLC, should you put the type of business that you're going to do, or just keep it general? I always say just keep it general, like for any lawful purpose, because let's say I do start a t-shirt business and I call it Joyce Tees, okay? Well, I may not do t-shirts anymore, but I may do something else. You can always amend an LLC. You can always change the name of an LLC. So you don't have to make the LLC specific to one industry. You can just kind of have a general LLC, not saying run 10 DBAs, you know, under this one LLC. But when you're forming your LLC, you can just make it for a general reason for any lawful purpose, you know. So therefore, you can do different things with the LLC.
Right, because you did speak about that too, that you don't recommend having all of these different
Correct.
names,
Correct.
under one LLC.
Correct.
Because, like you said, if I have a hair salon, but then I'm doing nails on the side,
correct,
I have a nail business, and both of them together. Now, if something happens in the hair business, not a nail
right,
business now included, because
right,
both of them under that one LLC.
Correct.
Hey, Arnetta. Okay, so I think we went through all the questions that are on there. So let me see what other. Okay, we went over contracts, we went over LLC. Well, Joy, is there anything else that maybe you want to share outside of, let me see. So we talked about the contracts. Okay, one of the things that you did say too was with the copywriting, right? So a lot of people, a lot of you are, oh no, let's do this. We talked about that. We'll just recap it. If you're just coming in, like she said, if you have a, let's say you're getting a logo or you're getting video content film, right? If you're not aware, the people who created that owns your content, right? Pretty much, because they created it. So they basically, I saw an article or something about that recently, like someone was selling their company and the person who designed the logo ended up coming in and wanting like a percentage of the sale.
That is going to be Saltwater Brewery. There's a beer company out in Atlanta. 30 years ago, a family friend drew their logo and they paid him $500.
That's it.
Well, now the company just sold for, I think, $300 million. So the family friend's like, oh, well, you know, when there's something called goodwill, and there's like the McDonald's logo if I put that logo up on a business, people are going to come without even having the word McDonald's, because that logo means something. It's called goodwill. You can't really put a price point on it. It's just that logo means something. That Chick-fil-A little chicken, like, logos mean something because you related to the brand, the Nike swoosh. So the family friend who made the logo is like, well, hold on, I now want $30 million because I'm the one that created that logo. So now that I'm selling my company for, $300 million, if I'm now trying to run back, hey, y'all, can you sign this contract? Well, yeah, now you're about to get hustled. Yeah, I'll sign it for 30 million, but when you start out and don't nobody know you, and all your little stuff is bootleg, and you just trying to make it, and don't no one care about giving away their rights because you are small, you're nothing. They don't see, they don't see what you're really about to be, so it's not going to be a problem. So that's why it's always important to set everything up correctly. Get your LLC done correctly. You don't want to, have a lawsuit in place or someone suing you, and then you realize, oh, on this form, I checked the wrong box. Well, my cousin and them see, and I should, now it's like, now it's too late, and it's like, to save $250, you now looking at, a lawsuit for $300,000. Is it worth it? Either you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay either or. And it's always going to be cheaper to pay it up front versus, so when you first get your logo, here's the contract. Before you send the money to the logo guy, here's the contract. Hey, my attorney already advised me, to have you sign this copyright transfer agreement. Before you get the website done, here's the contract. Before the person is, doing your photos for your photo shoot, here's the, let's keep it up front. Don't slide it in, just keep it up front. And the question I have is the top three contracts going to be the NDA, or the non-disclosure agreement, a copyright transfer assignment agreement, and then independent contractor agreement. But you have everyone sign this up front. Okay, before the person comes to work with you, sign it up front. So that way, before you tell your great idea to this investor, sign this up front. And if anyone's, once you see them backpedaling with that contract, because people know what contracts mean. People know, I will nail your ass to the cross with this contract. So if they start, shucking and jiving, then you already know right then and there, oh, let me not sell you this money from my logo because I know it's about to be an issue. Let me not have you do my photo, or I'm going to charge you more now because you're going to own the content. Well, honey, it's yes, that's what I want. So you just want to be, you want to know when you handle this contract, if they're not above ground, you're going to see it. And so you need to just go on ahead and go to the next person. Now, if you've already gotten your logo, you already got your photos, you already got things done, still sliding the contract. If they don't want to sign it, you got to just make it do what it do and just move on. But it's always best to do this, in the beginning. So those would be the top contract. That copyright transfer agreement is what you want to get now, especially if you're a new business, because no one's going to be worried about your logo. When you sell for $300 million, they're going to come out the woodworks, at that point in time.
And a social Fiverr, it doesn't matter. So still, it doesn't matter who you're having.
Correct.
So just because.
So you can just email them the contract. I have a clause in the contract to where, if you're emailing someone the contract, they won't be able to sign the same contract that you have. But I have a clause in there that says, hey, as long as you sign one version of it, it's still good. So you want it, even on Fiverr, you pay them $30, whatever, hey, here's the contract that I need signed. Then to answer the other question, if you do change your name of your LLC, you will then need to get a new EIN number. And in getting the EIN number, that is where you choose what industry you're in. And the industry that you're in is what can affect you when you start talking about business credit and, you know, your industry, because there are high risk industries. So you want to make sure that you choose a general industry like consulting, management. You don't want to be real estate. You don't want to be, you know, transportation, logistics. You want to make sure that you keep the industry that you're in real general also.
It's like I'm.
Am I frozen? Because you frozen, Patrice.
And that is acting up right now. You just froze, but I think it's my internet because it's saying on my internet.
Okay. Well, let me see what questions I got. Hey, y'all. Because she's froze. Need to do my LLC. Okay, I got you. And get along. Okay. Can you run? I have another question, Patrice. Can you hear me, Patrice?
Yes, I hear you and see you again.
Okay. So can I run two DBAs under one LLC? No. Okay. Yeah. The only reason why you have a DBA is if you want to go by a different name than what your LLC name is. So some people may have like a general LLC name. So I may call myself, you know, Joy Enterprises, but I'm doing business as, you know, Joy's Lashes. You don't have one LLC and then you have a whole bunch of other DBAs. That defeats the purpose of even having an LLC. Okay. So each business that you do needs to have its own LLC. Besides protecting your assets, besides reserving your business name in the state that you're in, because the DBA is nothing, you now can establish business credit on all of the where my cups?
We on cup.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's just do it. Okay.
Tiffany, we appreciate it. We know we're giving you a lot of great info here. So Tiffany says,
okay. So here's LLC number one. Okay, now you want to have a t-shirt company and a record label, and you're gonna rent your cars, and you're gonna do all this in this one LLC. So only this one LLC can go to the bank. Only this one LLC can apply for a credit card. Then when something happens with maybe one issue, all of your business assets, all of your business money, everything you got going on is tied up into one company. So let's just say my t-shirt company is new, but my record label is banging, you know, my Turo business is banging, but maybe I had a contract dispute with someone who did some t-shirts for mine, and now, you know, we're in court and they got a judgment against me. They can now touch my record label money. They can now touch my Turo money. They can touch everything because you have it in one LLC. Because you save that money and you save that $200 filing fee, and you pay $30 and got you a DBA, and you're doing everything in one. Now, when you set yourself up for success, LLC number one. So now we got LLC number two. Okay. Where's my LLC number three cup? Now, Joy, get it together. We're going to call this. So now I got my record label. I got my Turo. I got my t-shirt. Okay. Now I have three people walking into the bank. Now I have three people getting a credit card. Now I have 3 people getting a line of credit.
Come on here, Joy.
Now I have 3 people walking in, to Ford or to Toyota to, get a business vehicle in the business name. Now if I have a contract dispute over here with the t-shirts, it ain't messing with this money. It ain't messing with this business. It ain't got nothing to do with this. I have one little man down, and he gonna be up in a second. But so it's like you gotta either we gonna hustle or we gonna do a business. And the problem is, especially us, we wanna hustle. We wanna do the bare minimum. But the second we hear about some money, oh, how can I get some funding? You got an LLC? No, I got DBA. I got an EIN. Baby, you have an LLC.
Right.
Like in business, it's LLCs, and it's business bank account with money in the bank. Well, see, I do Cash App, and it's just like either we gonna run a business or you gonna run a side hustle. Anyone you do is cool. But if you're gonna side hustle Sally your way, just stay side hustle Sally. Don't go to the bank. Don't look for loans. Don't ask for a grant. Don't ask for no credit not using your personal social. Don't come over here. Just stay over here with your Cash Apps and your Zelles and your DBAs. Just stay right over there inside. You ain't paying no taxes. You ain't tripping. You good. Over on the business side, you're going to write the IRS a check, okay? Ain't no 7-figure business not writing the IRS a check. You're going to write the IRS a check. You're gonna pay credit card fees. You're going to pay banking fees. But you get to walk into the bank with multiple people. You get to get a line of credit. You get to get credit. You get other benefits when you act like a business. But it's going to cost you money. It's not going to be free. You got to pay for things. You got to have contract. You got to have a whole lot of stuff here on that business side. But business, there are a lot of benefits for business. So when you are forming your LLC, that's the first step. When you get your EIN, that's the second step. Now, when forming your LLC, your name is important, especially if you're going to be in a high-risk industry, okay? Your name's important because if you put the high-risk industry name in your business name, that's going to affect how much line of credit you can get, okay? Trucking companies, high risk, okay? High risk means that you are prone for bankruptcy based on your industry, okay? Trucks going out of business all day, every day. Trucks are large liability, okay? You're about to crash and kill somebody. So, when you have logistics in your name, when you have trucking in your name, just know when you walk into that bank, the amount of money that they're going to want to give you is going to be a little less, okay? Now, if you already have that, it's already in your name, there are things we can do to get around that. But any kind of high risk industry, if you have a strip club, okay, the sex industry is a high risk industry. Credit repair, high risk. Car dealerships, high risk. So you can mask it by having a general name and then using a DBA to use, like if I have a car dealership, okay, if I have Joy Motors, it kind of tells what I do. Versus if I have Joy Enterprises and then just get a DBA to be doing business as Joy Motors, that'll be a little different. But you want to make sure that we're cautious of, if I'm in a high risk industry, am I going to mask my name, or I can set up a parent company, another company to kind of run the whole business credit play with, so that I can, maximize the amount of funding I can get when it comes to business credit.
I hope y'all taking notes, baby, because Joy just gave you all the things. He said, Mars, is it Mars? I don't know.
I don't see something.
No, I'm on a Zoom.
Well, look.
No, Mommy's saying I'm on a Zoom. Okay, that's the other question I had.
on this person?
I'm on both, and now you're on. How does it work with freelance workers such as Fiverr? Okay, for Fiverr, you would still send the copyright transfer agreement to them.
It's frozen.
Can you see me, Patrice, or am I still frozen on your side?
No, I see you.
Okay. You got some questions on your side? I'm going through. Can you
So we do. Arnetta says, if someone has a side hustle business, it causes injury on assets. Yes, in a nutshell, right? Because they don't have an LLC.
Correct. So if another reason why you don't want to do business as a DBA, that means that you're doing business. Okay. So, okay, Arnetta, your business doesn't have no money. Okay. So here's your business. It doesn't have no money. It's brand new. But I bet you have a bank account. I bet you have a car. I bet you have a savings account. I bet you have a house. I bet you may have some jewelry. Okay. So when you're a DBA, you are doing business with all of your personal assets exposed. So if something goes wrong with your DBA, forget going to the business. They going right to you. They suing you personally. They coming after your bank account. They come after your car, your house, your money, your savings, your 401k, your jewelry. They coming after you. So that's why I always say, I don't care if the business is not going to make no money. Like in the real world, it's going to take you about 3 years to break even on a business, depending, you're a new entrepreneur, you're more established. It's going to take you some years to break even. We're not forming the LLC, for the business. You're forming the LLC. So if this is me, here's my business. So something go wrong with this business, keep me out of it. Keep my money out of it, keep my savings account out of it, keep my car, my home. So they suing, my LLC. Guess what? At night, I'm asleep. I'm not stressed. I don't have ulcers. I don't have a heart attack. I'm not, trying to tell my kids we're gonna lose our house. I'm good because I have separated the two. When you have a DBA, you are exposing everything you have sacrificed and worked for out here in these business streets. So I don't care if the business hasn't made a dime. The first thing I do, I have an idea, LLC. Because I'm not about to have you come over here and mess with, Deuce's money. Like this is me and mommy. This is over here. Now you can play over here with this, but if you are separating yourself from the business, that's the most important reason for forming an LLC and why you should form it in the very beginning.
Makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense. And I mean, if people, and again, some people, they're going to some people going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
But if you listen and you pay attention and this is something that you're really serious about, then this is, Joy is pretty much giving you the gem on how to set it up properly the right way. Right. Exactly, Tiffany. So you're touch your personal assets. Right.
Right.
And that's why we both don't do the LLC, and then you can do a DBA under the LLC. But I just feel like a straight DBA is just a waste of time.
Well, you just save a little $30. Just save a little $30 DBA dollars.
Okay, so if you all do have any questions that are watching, this is your time to get it in. We have about 10 more minutes on. So if anyone has any questions for Joy directly, then go ahead and type them in now. New one, Joy, from Kim Stage. Can I cross over from a sole proprietor to a LLC, and how difficult?
Crossing over from a sole proprietor to an LLC is really just forming the LLC. You will form the LLC and you will need to get a new EIN because you just formed a new business entity, but it's not hard. Can you get a swinger group made into an LLC?
Yeah, pretty much what you're doing is you're just finally putting yourself on paper, because when you're running it as a sole proprietor, that's exactly what you're doing, is what she explained, is you're running it as a DBA. I mean, even
Right.
business as, but that's the same thing as a sole proprietor. Paper. So all of your personal assets are open and available right now. So what you're doing is actually setting it up on paper. So no, it's not finally putting the business on paper how it should be.
Right.
And then you also have to remember, I'm the tax person. So there are so many advantages to putting that company on paper, right? Because when you're a sole proprietor, you're running that business on a Schedule C. Now, if you're a single member LLC, you're still running that business on a Schedule C. But you're still able to write off a little more because you actually have a legal business entity versus just being a sole proprietor. And then it's a whole other kind of tax write-off when you are an LLC that has an S corp attached to it. So that's why we say, again, you need to be working and talking to a professional that you want to sit down with, so that way we can understand your structure, your goal, how much money you're looking to make. All that depend on your structure. This is what Joy is talking about, the foundation of how you're being set up. So Blue Jay says, when is the best time to switch your LLC to an S corp? So right, Joy, you said more like 100,000.
Patrice, you say what, like 50,000?
I say you can do it at 50, depending on the like if it's a servicing industry, like what I do, like what both Joy and I do, we're in a servicing industry, right? We provide a service. Now, for people who are like in a product base where you're paying taxes and all kind of other things, then I do feel like your income needs to be higher into that 100 kind of K. But when you're in a service-based kind of industry and you kind of can hold more of the cash flow, like you for the income, then again, this is why we have to have these sit downs and kind of go over. So again, and let's just also put this disclosure out here. Joy is an actual attorney, so she got the legality. But for me, I am giving you, and this is informational purposes only. I'm not giving you legal advice on here, right? This is informational purposes. If you do want to actually work with me and my company, then at that point, we can go from there. But the information that we're providing for you all today is information, right? So this is not a one size fits all.
Correct.
And this is the reason too why we always say this, why you want to sit down with a professional, because every business owner has your own goal and different. Like I said, Joy's goal for her business is going to be different than my goal for my business. So we set your businesses up based off of what your goal is. Okay.
Let me say more about the S corp, because like the S corp is everywhere on Instagram. Part of running a business, you need to have business advisors. Okay. So if I do hair, I can slay hair. Like that's my thing. I'm good at hair, but you're not good at taxes. You're not good at business structuring. You're not good at a whole lot of other things that encompass business. So when you start running a business, the first thing you need to have, besides, I would say, some kind of business coach. You ain't got to come to me, but go somewhere. Like, how do I properly run the business? Okay. Because if you've never run a business before, how else are you going to learn how to run a business? The first person I would say you need to go to is going to be a tax person. Okay. We got Patrice. Hey girl. So how much money? Cause we see how much money's coming in. And we're like, oh, I'm making this money. Boom, boom, boom. Baby, there is somebody called, you have a silent business partner, and they're called the IRS, okay? And they expect to get their payment every year, okay? They don't want to hear nothing, but you ain't got it. You done spent it. So the first person you need to go talk to is going to be a CPA, an accountant, some kind of tax professional. Okay. They will then sit down and you can tell them what industry you're in. They're going to see your expenses. They're going to see, how much you're making, and they're going to be able to advise you as to, hey, next year we should probably make the S Corp election, or, hey, you're missing out on these deductions, or hey, you should be making sure that you're like, they're going to be able to guide you as to how to run the financial end of the business. Remember, you're great at doing hair. That's what you do. Your tax professor is going to be able to protect you, saying, hey, I remember there was an attorney friend of mine. He had just settled a big personal injury case. And the insurance company, well, do you want us to mail this check to you today? It was like December 27th. Do you want this check today, or do you want me to send it to you next week? And of course, he's like, I want it today. And I said, why would you want that check? Like, what's you going to do within 5 days?
Right.
If you do it now, you're going to pay taxes on it now versus getting it 5 days later in the next year, and then being able to know, hey, I have a big cash flow this year. Your tax professional can tell you how we can move some stuff around, what you need to do to kind of eat up them taxes. If you had a really good real estate year, like if you have a big cash flow coming in, what vehicles do I have to kind of bite that bullet? But if you don't talk to the person beforehand, if you don't invest in the consultation fee, like running a business there's other expenses. You can't pocket all the money and then reap all the benefits. So going to a person like Patrice saying, hey, we had a really good, we having a really good 6 months. I think this may be a big year. What are some things that I need to be doing? She can kind of explain to you some tax shelters, some different things that we can do to be creative to help, to help weather this blow you about to get. Because when you go in and you used to getting a refund and you sit down, you realize, wait, you want me to write a check to the IRS with a comma in it? Yes, baby. Yeah, yeah, right.
Right.
And I need this today. Like, especially new, like when I got my first 6-figure tax bill, I'm sitting here like, I know you playing with me. I know you playing, but no, they ain't. When you make money, you have a silent partner called the IRS. So, all these different things are good. S corps are good, and trusts are good, and all this stuff is good. You need to understand, is it good for you, and when is it good for you? So the first person you need is going to be a tax professional. The second person is going to be an insurance agent. Like, you need to have business insurance, depending on your industry. Every industry needs, if you only have an errors and omissions policy, you just need something out here to cover you. So when you start making money, start investing. Don't just go ball out. Invest in a tax professional, invest in an insurance agent, invest in some kind of business code to kind of help you help you structure your business, how you should zig and zag before you just get hit with, oh, I did all this wrong, or oh, I could have paid less in taxes had I gone to Patrice, and she'd have been like, girl, you need to do boom, 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 boom. Yeah. You got to kind of pay for the advice to know what to do with the money. Because in running a business, even if you're the sole owner, you still don't own 100%, and you're not going to get 100% of the profits. It's just not going to happen.
To understand. That's why we're here and trying to educate you guys, because that's to me what a lot of these newer entrepreneurs think. Joy, like you said,
right.
We've been in the game 14, 15 years. It's like, baby, this sale I had to break it down to one of my clients who was selling baskets for $100. And I said, so how much are you making off of that? And she was like, well, maybe $30. And I'm like, did you add even the basket?
Right.
The paper that you wrapping it up in? She was like, oh no. I said, baby, that's cost of goods sold.
Right.
Are you adding the shipping fee to ship it or deliver it to them off of the express?
Right.
I said, so really you done made $10. You done did all this work and you done made $10 off $100.
Right. And then may go and give a discount when someone begging you can't do it for less. You done gave a discount. Now you pay them to buy your basket from you.
So yes, it's so much behind the scenes. So definitely contact Joy. I put her information in the comments. I also have her link up here in the in the actual live right now. If you all want to join the lab community, Joy is one of our instructors in the lab community as well. So we do also have you can text the community, you can text the lab, which is 312-680-5468. And definitely reach out to Joy, to set up your LLC or any kind of consultation, your contracts, everything. And then, of course, I also put my information down as well if you wanted to speak to me further regarding taxes or the business coaching or consulting. Okay.
What's your Instagram name, Patrice? Cause I'm gonna put her Instagram information when I post this live. So what's your Instagram page?
Patrice L. Stewart.
Okay, so for those who don't have a tax person, I am going to in the comments put Patrice's name, because your tax person gonna be like your real spouse. Like that's the person that you have to be one-on-one. Like you have to just be one-on-one. Like so they can just, hey, brace yourself for the blow for this year. Okay, let me go ahead and brace myself. Let me not get this Chanel. Let me not do all this because that has to go to the IRS. And so you want to make sure you have a good person who knows the law, and then, knows all the exceptions, to the law, so that you can kind of benefit the best. Because, as our business grows, you want to be able to keep most of that money and not have to give it to, your other partner, the IRS.
Exactly. I think we should do a series, Joy.
Let's do a series, girl.
We should maybe do like a 4-week series for them. Like on
we do. And we need bookkeeping, Patrice.
Yep. I gotta get another person because I gotta find another person because the person I had left the business and I was like,
the importance of bookkeeping.
Yeah.
The importance of filing a tax return.
Yeah. We're gonna get it. I'm gonna get with you offline. We're gonna set up a series for you guys. So that way you'll know kind of what we'll talk about each week. But we know we gave you a lot today. Definitely reach out. And yes, Tiffany, like you said, yep, a lot of people are quick to start the business, but they're not really set up properly on the back end. We got a lot of thank you joys on this end. The information. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then when I'm not gonna put Patrice's information in the comments because I always lock myself out of live. So I'm gonna save this live, I'm gonna post it, and then I will put Patrice's contact information for everyone on here. So go ahead and get you, book a little consultation with her so we all can get y'all numbers, y'all figures, have like a tax buddy to kind of guide you through how we're going to, process all the income that we're making.
All right, let's get these businesses in order.
Let's get in order.
And these tax write-offs together. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Joy, for coming on with me today.
No problem.
I'll text you after this so we can work on
our series.
Our series, yeah.
Okay, I got you.
All right, Arnetta, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Arnetta. She said I just completed my monthly bookkeeping. Okay, you guys, we are signing off today, and we'll probably see Miss Joy next week to start our series. So we will be back again soon. Stay tuned with the channel, you all. Thank you for joining.